Moving forward, up next, the topic is Future of Enterprise, AI is Human. And for the same, I would like to invite everyone. Miss Jennita James is a distinguished leader in the customer experience and sales development space. Currently serves as the director and head of sales development Asia at Uniphore. With a wealth of experience, she is recognized for her deep understanding of customer needs and her ability to craft tailored solutions that enhance customer experience. In her role at Uniphore, Jennita drives sales development with a strategic vision, playing a key role in shaping the company's approach to customer engagement in the Asian market. Everyone, please welcome Miss Jennita James, Director Sales Development at Uniphore. Let's have a huge round of applause, everyone, for Miss Jennita James.
Audible, again, one of the things that we've been hearing, am I audible forever? Again, it's wonderful to be standing here in a room full of smart people who already know everything about what I'm going to speak about. Thanks to Mr. Anil Joglekar, who gave a wonderful introduction, and everybody after that has spoken about the perils of AI, chatbots, emotion AI, and all of that, right? So I kind of want to make it as personalized as I can, right? So if you see the topic, we are speaking about the future of enterprise AI is human. So I want to kind of step back into my own CX journey, right? So customer experience was a newer term back in around 2015, 2016. Everybody was still speaking about great customer service when Amazon came up with exceptional customer experience and terminologies like that. And at that point, I was with a company who was a startup again, based out in India, who was doing customer feedback, right? Customer survey forms and voice of customer. So when we spoke to enterprises, they were already, Freshworks was booming at that point. Everybody was using CRM. And that's when people started looking into customer feedback. And at that point, 5% of a survey, if it was filled, it was a big celebration moment in our office. We even had a bell, and we rang that if our CS teams came and said that, hey, this enterprise, they've clocked 5% of respondents for the survey, right? It was a big moment. From then to now, working with Uniphore, where we are talking about AI for enterprises, not just talking about it, seeing the results, seeing how enterprises are embracing that and using it in multiple different ways that I couldn't have even imagined at that point is just amazing, right? And I would also like to quickly talk a little bit about what Harvard Business Reviews say about digital transformation. And that nicely segues into what we are talking about as how humans are still the core of enterprise AI, right? So it says that for any enterprise to be successful with digital transformation, they follow the 70-20-10 rule. When I first read that, I thought, okay, so 70 has to be the product or the newer technology, but it was not. 70 was people, right? So it was processes, it was KPIs, it was the culture, the mentality that everybody in the organization adopted in bringing about the new technology. Then came the 20%, which was the actual data that was being used for this transformation. And the final 10% is the product, right? So no matter Gen AI, anything new, and I sit in the office where we have our R&D department, and it's constantly amazing what they do in different languages, different dialects, right? So my biggest surprise was how are people still at the helm of it, right? So that is where Uniphore, we are a big advocate that any AI cannot replace the human touch. And again, it's another thing that I would really like to say is, AI is here, it's already there. We to AI or not to AI is not the question anymore. We just have to embrace it and adopt it to our enterprises as much as we can, personalize it, right? And again, one more thing, right? I come from a family of huge history buffs. So anything and everything that happens is instantly compared to something which has happened 100 years ago, right? So they all say, explain where you're working like how you would explain it to your grandparents. So when I attempted that, my dad said, oh, so it's like the Industrial Revolution. I said, what are you saying? What Industrial Revolution? So then he comes with a parallel that now everywhere I open the newspaper, I see that AI is replacing humans. When I studied, I was a young child, they were talking about how the Industrial Revolution, steam engines, machines are replacing humans. So it's the same thing, right? It got me thinking. And then I realized, even after, at that point, people were scared of losing jobs and all of that. But what ideally happened was the machines did not replace the humans. It made them better. It made them managers, supervisors. It made the quality and the amount of things which were manufactured, the boom would have never been possible without those machines. And exactly that's the same cusp of revolution we are at right now, where without AI, solving our mundane tasks, solving our generic queries, repetitive tasks, it will make our humans into superhumans, and we call that agents to super agents as well, right? So with that, I do not want to go on about AI because I've had many people speaking about the wonderful points about it. So there are a couple of latest trends that I want to speak about it, right? So the digital and self-service channels. Again, self-acclaimed millennials, Gen Zs, I'm not even going to go into it because I don't understand half of what they say, are very, very attuned to self-service channels, right? And as part of my role, when I speak to CX practitioners and leaders in companies like, say, Grofers or Uber or Ola, they all really say that the stickability to the app is there and people love self-service over there, especially that generation which uses the apps. But there is another generation which uses, and that generation might be tech savvy, might use Swiggy, but they would still prefer to speak to a person, right? And that is why contact centers are still very key. Voice is one of the most important channels still being used. That is not going away anywhere. So agent engagement and attrition is still a big issue, right? And what we are trying to achieve here is with AI, with automation, we do emotion AI, we use tonal AI, we use generative AI, knowledge AI, etc., is to enhance not just the customer experience, but also the employee experience. So again, when we speak about the bigger problem in enterprises, there are so many conversations going on, whether it is your email exchanges, it's your WhatsApp, it's your calls, but this is all in silos. It's not being brought together. It's still inaccessible. People do not know how to derive insights because of it being siloed, right? So this is where Uniphore really comes in, and this is what we do better than anybody else, because our products is in a platform. Each and every product of our journey, in the customer journey, speaks to each other, right? And when it speaks to each other, the silos are broken, the barriers are broken, your access to data becomes better than anything. We've been in the industry for around 16 years now, and we have worked with multiple enterprises. I will get into all the details next, but I would just like to quickly tell us about our platform and the 4 different things that we do, right? Self-serve, again, very self-explanatory. It's your chatbots, voice bots, visual IVR. You want most of your things, a younger generation, you want to get your things accessible faster. You do not want to be on hold for a longer time. That's where self-serve comes in. The agent assist, although I say that I do not like to call and wait on contact centers, this product, if implemented well, is a life changer for people like me, right? Because again, drawing from personal experience, I had a small issue with a bank yesterday. They had flagged my account for suspicious activity. It was me who was doing the suspicious activity, unfortunately, and they had blocked it. I was traveling from Chennai yesterday, and I called the bank, and I was irate. I was being an irate customer, and I was telling him I need this done. This is the same, my phone that I'm using it. How can you flag it? The agent was so flustered, I could feel it from my end, right? So he puts me on hold. He tries to connect me to the department with unblocks net banking and transactions. He's not able to, they're not picking up. He comes back, says, please wait, ma'am, don't get irritated. And then he does the same thing again. When I put the phone down, I thought about how helpless he would have felt at that moment, right? Somebody is not picking up the call. He's not responsible for it. He does not have the power there to give me a solution or rather unblock my transaction himself, right? So what Uniphore can do is be a real agent assist co-pilot, listening to both my conversation, both his conversation, could have offered a word of advice, right? What happens is they get what they can say. This is why the person called. This is what they spoke with the bot or the self-serve option. This person is irritated. That's where tonal AI and emotion AI comes into. He could say, I understand you're irritated. I understand this is happening. Let me try and put. And if the whole times was resolved, I would have never called back. I would have been a very happy customer. And again, promises, right? So they say, I will unblock this transaction. I will get it solved for you in 4 hours. It became 8 hours. It became 10 hours. I did not get a call back. Nothing happened. So what happens? Does the promise actually get logged? We don't know. But with conversational AI and tonal and emotion, the promise gets logged. And if it is not being met within that 4 hours or the 8 hours that the agent has promised, it triggers an alert to their supervisor. And what happens for the enterprise is, as an end customer, they have lakhs and lakhs of customers, a bank. I would feel they cared enough to respond to me within the 4 hours, right? That is an exceptional customer experience they would be doing. And this is where AI plays a huge, huge part in making it better. And Uniphore, again, one of our favorite, this is where Uniphore started with. And as our CEO gave a beautiful example, we work with one of our F&B companies, manufacturers in the US. And while presenting and talking about it, they said, hey, this makes our life so much easier, conversational analytics. Because otherwise, if I'm introducing a new product, say a sauce, I would have to do a market study, I would have to learn trends, what is in, who's my competition and all of that. But if I'm just listening to my contact center, what people are talking about, is my barbecue sauce not too sweet, is my ranch too spicy, I would just know where the interest is, right? So it helps not just your contact center, your customer experience, your operation, business outcomes, it also helps in your marketing, your product launches, in all of that, right? So analytics, and like the example I drew earlier, 5% was a huge win for us. With Uniphore, you could listen to 100% of every single customer interaction that you have across all channels. Last, but also a very essential piece here is UCapture. This is our voice and screen capture, right? So when it comes to emergency services, where and any other contact center, any customer-facing role, there is a recording happening. We help you do that as well. As long as you also capture the video of the agent screen, how are they answering effectively, in turn helps with productivity and all of that stuff, right? The most beautiful part is all of this comes together. So you have conversational analytics that feeds into your self-service. So by listening to all the conversations, the bot automatically gets trained on what needs to be said, what are customers coming for. The same thing with agent assist. So it flows beautifully into each other, and that's one of the most special things about Uniphore. And again, business benefits, I'm sure we've had many people speak about it. So again, it gives you a 20% increase in your CSAT and NPS, 30% reduction in operational costs. You reduce the amount of repetitive tasks again, and onboarding time, right? So contact center industry, everybody knows attrition is at an all-time high. And onboarding time, there is a co-pilot sitting for your agents, right? You do not need to put them in workshops for weeks and weeks. You just have to give them the basic product training, and the AI is there to assist or give them a helping hand on how to go about it. And again, generative AI, everybody talks about ChatGPT. We all spoke about ChatGPT. By 2024, again, this is a Gartner research. It says that 60% of data, right, that is used for the development of any AI analytics projects will be synthetically generated, right? It will not be manually generated. It will be by AI itself. And 39% of businesses expect to improve operational efficiency, and there is an average productivity in CX by at least 14%, yeah? And I'm coming to the perils of generative AI, right? So we have spoken in length about what we can do, how it benefits the enterprise. But again, like every single invention in mankind, it has its own disadvantages, right? So you trusted AI models with the internet. There was also a lot of perils which were spoken when the advent of internet. Similarly, there's a lot being said by generative AI. What Uniphore does is we have a generative AI approach with guardrails, with ethics, and we have trusted and trained deployed AI models, and we focus a lot on data security and privacy, especially when we spoke about banking and all of that, right? So that is absolutely important to us. And now I know I still have a lot of time left. So what I kind of want to do is a fun thing. I will be playing a video of what Uniphore does. And I have a couple of questions, just maybe 4 questions. And it's a very fast-paced video. And please pay attention. And then if you do get the answers right, please come meet us at the booth. And we have special somethings for you guys. Okay, ready for the questions? So again, starting with the easy ones, you would have seen this in the video. How many enterprise customers does Uniphore have? Raise of hands. My team member is there. Yes, if you can just give your name and then you can come to the booth later. Thank you so much. How many takers? Yeah, I think we'll have to have multiple answers for that. There's 25, that's right. How many countries have we deployed in? 20, great. Okay, so now comes the difficult part. What are the key types of AI that you saw in the video, spoken, employed by Uniphore? Can you just name 3? Bang on. Yes, it's it. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed. I hope there were insights. And we have a booth right outside. And we would love to have you. We would love to have more conversations around conversational AI, generative AI. And we'd love to hear your thoughts on the same as well. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful audience.
That was great indeed. You are master at your craft. Thank you. And I would request you to kindly stay on stage. I would request Miss Jyoti Arora, Head of Customer Experience at Borosil, to join us on the stage and kindly felicitate Miss Jennita James. Thank you so much for sharing your insight. Everyone, let's have a huge round of applause for Miss Jennita James.